Hey everybody, I'm Dawn. Welcome back to my little corner of the world. Here today with a check it out. These are my library books. So let's get started. The first one is going to be a departure for me. It is my local library's book club book of the month for September, An Anonymous Girl by Greer, Hendricks, and Sarah Pekkanen. It is a psychological thriller. They're also the author of The Wife Between Us. Not something I typically read, but that's the whole point of a book club, right? So we'll see. The next thing that I have checked out from my library is a World War II historical fiction. I have a couple of those checked out. It's fairly new and it's by Ellen Feldman called Paris Never Leaves You. It's about a woman who works in a bookshop in Paris during the occupation, and then also in Manhattan 1950s, like publishing world, right? Publishing, yes. Um, I've never read anything by this author, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out. I love finding new authors. Now, this author is not new to me. Kristin Harmel, The Book of Lost Names. It is a World War II historical fiction. And I read her previous World War II historical fiction called The Room on Rue Amelie, and I gave it 5 stars. It was so good. Um, so I have high hopes for this. It's about a woman who becomes a forger for Jewish children and makes them Aryan identification cards and puts their info into the Book of Lost Names so that they could possibly be reunited with family at a later date. I have high hopes. I hope that doesn't come to bite me in the butt later on. One that I'm already reading is it's Kirsty Manning's The Lost Jewels. I previously read The Song of the Jade Lily by her and was blown away. It was a 5-star read for me, and she was a new author for me too, which I love. This one is intriguing. I'm about 100 pages in, and I actually can't wait to finish filming so I can go read before I have to go to work. This is dual timeline, but there's also little like interchapters where you're flashing back to the time when the jewel was found. So this is a forgotten treasure and the family secret that holds the key to the mystery. And uh, the main character, she's in present day, and she's a like jewelry historian, which is so cool. And her great grandmother was an Irish immigrant living in London, taking care of a family. They were destitute in 1912, and she immigrated to Boston area and had to do with like big ships and stuff with her husband, and I'm guessing became quite wealthy, so quite a different um, place than where she started. And there's all this description of all these beautiful jewels, um, and they're somehow connected. So I can't wait to keep reading this one. Another one I have checked out from my library that I'm also super excited to read, and I'll probably read after this one, is The Lions of Fifth Avenue by Fiona Davis. I have read, I think, most of her books. There's like five, I think now. I think I've read 3. Um, this one, all of her books, let me say, take place in New York, and usually an iconic or historic New York building is almost a character. It's the setting of the story, and it plays a big part, and I love that. This one is set, it's a dual timeline as well. It's set in 1913 and 1993. The woman in 1913 lives in the New York Public Library with her superintendent of the library, her husband, and she wants to be more than just a wife and a mother. But is very held back because she's a woman in the times. Then her granddaughter finds some things that link them together. Um, and it's about 2 generations of strong-willed women that are left to pick up the pieces. So I'm super excited to read this. I love her. I've actually been on a few Zoom like book launches and author meets because of COVID, and this is when it launched. And she is so nice, and it was great learning, kind of a behind the scenes of how the books are written, and I just can't wait to have more and more from her. I have two nonfiction books that I have checked out from the library. This first one is one that's been on my TBR for a very long time, and I just haven't picked it up, but I've been interested. It's been on my radar. The author just came out with a new nonfiction book that's also getting praise and I want to read, but I thought that I should read this one first. She is a Pulitzer Prize winner and a national bestseller. It's Isabel Wilkerson's The Warmth of Other Suns, the epic story of America's Great Migration. So the Great Migration occurred about 1915 to 1970s, and it was the Black people from the South who were moving north into urban areas for a chance at a better livelihood, education, a better life. And she chronicles that basically, why it happened and how it happened and what happened. Her new book is called Cast, and I can't wait to read that, but I'm gonna read this first. The last book I have checked out from my library is a historical true crime nonfiction, and it is The Kidnap Years, The Astonishing True History of the Forgotten Kidnapping Epidemic That Shook Depression-Era America by David Stout. I believe that a lot of people were desperate, obviously, during the Depression, and so a lot of them turned to kidnapping as a way to either steal children for work or to hold them for ransom because they just needed a way to make money. I love true crime that's mostly historical like this. It's right up my alley, and so I cannot wait. I cannot wait to read this. It's kind of ambitious. Most of the historical fiction ones came in because I put myself on the request list for them and ended up being first at my library for all of them, so they all came in at once. I do try to stagger my requests so that they come in at different times, but this month got a little ahead of me. What do you have checked out from your library, and does your request list, does it go a mile long, and how do you combat that? I do hope to get to these. It probably won't all be this month. Hopefully some of them I can extend and not have to be put back on the list. Anyways, I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm a new channel trying to grow, and I would love to have more subscribers so I have more people to talk to about books, because that's why I'm here. Anyways, I hope you have a good day, and I'll talk to you guys later.